All right, welcome to White Hat versus Black Hat SEO show. My name is Josh Bachinski. I am your host. As always, I have my co-host with me, Chase Reiner. Chase, say hi.
What's up, everyone?
As you can see, Chase is playing with the effects in Google Hangouts. That or he's very quickly changing hats and locations. He'll be randomly changing locations throughout the show just for your viewing pleasure. For those of you who watch us on the video, for those of you on the podcast, I will try to describe verbally what I'm seeing so you're not left into the joke. And also with us today, we have my good friend Matt Coffy from Customer Bloom. Say hi, Matt.
Howdy do.
Howdy doody. So today we had a lot of stuff to talk about. I was going to have another guest, my good friend Steve Fantasia, who is a crazy good Facebook ad guy. But unfortunately, being a Facebook guy and not a Google guy, he couldn't get the Google Hangouts to work properly. Google was like, "You're a Facebook guy? That's it. You're cut off. You're off the show." So I'm going to have him in 2 weeks. Next week, we're supposed to have Mike Pierce and a lot of his super crazy Black Hat friends. I can't remember what network they're with or what group. Do you guys know what group they're with?
Mike?
What was it?
Michael Pierce.
Oh, I don't know.
He's probably crosses the border of a couple of different groups. I mean,
yeah. So I don't know. He's going to have all his friends on there. We're going to have a crazy Black Hat discussion. That is, if I can get the guys to come on the show. Sometimes they're hard to pin down. These nasty Black Hats. Sometimes they're hard to pin down. But that doesn't matter. We still have a ton of stuff to talk about today. Which the first thing I'm going to get into, as I normally do, is what's new in White Hat and Black Hat SEO. And so I'm going to get to all the John Mueller leaks that are new right now. And there's some really good ones that I thought were pretty crazy. And if you guys want to pipe in with your opinion about any of this stuff, by all means, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm just going to do a brain dump of John Mueller stuff for a second for what's new with the White Hat SEO. Back on February 8th, John Mueller had a hangout. And when he was asked if they use Chrome data to track user behavior and user clicks, he does not deny it, which I was surprised. Typically, he would say, no, of course, we don't use anything like that for rankings. That's not what he said. He said, I don't know how we use Chrome data, quote unquote. I repeat, I don't know how we use Chrome data. So that's not a denial. That was definitely not the thing I was expecting him to say. He says he doubts they're using it because it is a differing department from search. And there's a lot of paperwork they need to fill out to go from the search department to the Chrome department. Those are essentially two different companies at Google. Chrome, who make Chrome, and the people who search. And he said it was probably too noisy, so he gave that standard public relations line that Gary Ilyish and Andre Lepatsev and John Mueller, that they all give, that user clicks are too noisy a signal. When you have three different Google employees saying the exact same sentence when asked the same question, you know they've been told to say something. And if they've been told to say something, you can be reasonably assured that there's a reason why that is, and it's not because they're not using it. It's because they are using it. At least, anyway, that's my opinion. What do you guys think about that?
well, I think we knew that for a long time, right? I mean, we've hit sites with traffic and watched the change. I mean, it's not, I think it's impactful when they can discern the pattern, right? So, you know, from pay-per-click, they've got all the data. So they kind of know, you know, if it's a invalid click or not, because it's just, when IP address tracking, I'm wondering if they're tracking like microworkers or, you know, searchme.crowdsearch or whatever the newest crowd searching thing. I wonder if they grab those IP decks and they just say, look, all that line, they're done. Don't even count them. And again, jury's out. I mean, I'm sure everybody and their mother's uncle would love to have a bunch of mommies who just sit at home all day and click and do stuff. That we would all love it, but you know, it's tough to build that.
Right. Yeah. No, I would agree. All the testing on crowd search I've done are micro workers, and Matt Cutts literally laughed. Like someone asked him about that once in the past, and he literally laughed in their face as if that was the silliest question in the world. And they're very confident that they have those blocks of IP addresses like you're talking about, and they just discount all that. And I think you're absolutely right as well, that they're not tracking all user clicks. They're watching all user clicks to see obvious successes, and then they base that quality score on that. But the new thing about this that was interesting is that he's never directly talked about Chrome data before. He's talked about, he hasn't talked much about it at all, but leaks have come out about using the Safe Browse feature on all modern browsers. But now if they can track user behavior in Chrome, that could include mouse movements, that could include all different kinds of things, scrolling up and down, all different kinds of things.
I will say one thing though, and I know this is probably something that's an underspoken comment, but customers at the end of the day make the ultimate decision, not Google. And if you show a lot of traffic in your reports for somebody and they've gotten all uppity because of some kind of imagined perception why their keyword doesn't, you can always come back and say, look, the traffic's up, so things are working. So I don't know. I mean, you can decide how you like to decide that, but customers make decisions, not Google for me. So
right, and then that's kind of the point. Not Google has always outsourced their quality ratings, and they used to outsource it to links a lot more, completely almost. Links were a tertiary signal of quality, because in theory you'd never link to a bad site, right? For podcast listeners, I'm heavily using scare quotes with all these words. Also, Chase currently is a pirate, just so you know.
On the moon.
He's in looks like British Columbia or some glacier somewhere, and he's also a pirate who's going snorkeling, just so you know. And yeah, so I thought it was interesting they're using Chrome data now. He didn't deny it anyway, and that I take that to mean he's using Chrome. They're using Chrome data. Here's another leak that they had. He also talked about how they do use a small test group of user clicks. So this is different from what they were saying before. So before they said we don't use clicks at all. Now then they said, well, we do occasionally just to make sure our algorithms are working properly. Here's some more scare quotes. Properly, we do check where people are clicking just to make sure that's working on an occasional basis. Now John Mueller has admitted, and this is different, and again the position is weakening every time. Now he's admitted that they do occasionally do that, plus they do occasionally also have small test user groups in which they will watch the user clicks and use that as a quality signal. Now, if you recall, recently Japan had an update. Google Japan had an update, which is really kind of weird because hardly anybody uses Google Japan, like Google in Japan, right? It's such a small user base. Why would they roll any kind of update out for it at all? And I speculated it could have been an artificial intelligence experiment. They decided to segment out Japan specifically, and tried to user clicks on that particular area. Okay, another one that John Mueller recently mentioned is he said that they processed the JavaScript.
Wait a second.
Another SEO test came out recently.
Can we have Matt mute his mic?
No. Oh, I'm sorry if there's a lot of stuff in the background, guys.
Yeah, that's okay. Unmute yourself when you want to talk there, Matt. There we go. I thought I was hearing voices again. I thought the voices are talking to me again, and now I'm seeing things with Chase. Go back to the ghost one you were doing before. I thought that was cool. That one, the ghost one.
We gotta find it. Let's see.
It was the tropical one.
Oh yeah.
Now he's in Greece. He's at the Parthenon. Now he's completely disappeared into the woodwork. Here, I'll give you focus. There we go. It's just the pirate with the snorkel mask. Sorry, this is far too fun for us to play around with, but I got to get, there's people listening on the podcast. They can't see it. They don't give a shit. Okay. So Google does process the JavaScript. They don't click on anything on the page, so that's the rumor, but they do process any global variables or things like that. Two last things. John Mueller admits that the Panda algorithm bubbles up quality content, that the Panda algorithm no longer demotes. It now bubbles up. Remember, RankBrain and Panda are, in my mind, the same thing. They were released on the same day. The Rolling Panda and RankBrain were announced in the same week, right? And I believe that RankBrain is the guts of Panda. And they called it RankBrain for a reason. They didn't call it Penalty Brain, right? They didn't call it Demotion Brain. They called it RankBrain. RankBrain is artificial intelligence, which is ranking sites. It is at least the third biggest factor. In my opinion, it's now moving to the 50% factor in many cases. And I have a lot of people corroborating that on many sides, namely Mike Pierce, who I mentioned, who will be with us next week, who's a super black hat guy. So it's interesting that he reiterated, remember, Panda, the quality algorithms now bubble up content. And so by proxy, that means other sites have to go down that have a worse quality score. But they are ranking sites with the quality score. And finally, last but not least, for the new white hat stuff, is that John Mueller reinforced that they now mostly only work on averages and machine learning for trends. And then anything too far over the trends gets a minus. So remember, for Penguin, for Panda, for the keyword density, it's always a range that you want to be in. And if you go too high or too low, you're not going to rank. And if you go too high, you're going to get penalized. That really is how it works for everything that they're bringing out these days. What do you guys think about that?
That's why I try to use like a tool to check over optimizations on things, because I see that there's usually a lot of people either under optimizing their posts, or they learn a little bit about SEO and they end up over optimizing their posts. And they put like 30 in links on their each page, like internally linking to all these other pages. They put like their keywords like in every single chance they can with alt tags and title tags and heading tags, which is great, but it's not absolutely necessary these days. Google can really understand what you're talking about with, synonym variations of your keywords. Actually prefers looking at, having your content be more around your general subject than just basically hammering on the exact same thing over and over. So I use this tool actually, Josh, called SEO Profiler, which it's kind of cool. It has like rank tracking and, I use it for that, but really it has this on-page checker that, in my opinion, from the different optimization or on-page checkers, it really is good at finding over-optimization. So I like to cross-check with different tools, but for checking for over-optimizations, like, having way too high of a keyword density on a page, that's going to be over-optimizing. And it also accounts not just your keyword density through your body content, just like through your words, but it also calculates what you're using in your URLs, in your titles, in your alts, and everything. So it's really important to look at that stuff.
No, I agree. John Mueller has specifically mentioned numerous times not to put keywords in your title attributes. The title attribute is a little piece of code that goes in your anchor tag or in an image tag. I'm not talking about the title tags. Title tags are different than the title attributes. So you don't want keywords stuffed in the title attributes like the Yoast SEO plugin will do for WordPress. You do want keywords, one keyword, your main topic for that page, in the title. And actually, I have an example to talk about that a little bit later. So, okay, so let's move on to our main topic for today. So Matt Coffy was nice enough to join with us, and he's been having some trouble with his website recently. The question for Matt Coffy is, can link-based negative SEO sync your site? And he thinks he has an example of some link-based negative SEO. And so, Matt, if you don't mind, if you want to quickly tell us your story and kind of why you think the link-based negative SEO has been affecting you, and kind of really quickly the term of events there.
So, April last year, we transitioned from let's just say, a standard sort of hosting strategy where I don't remember where we were, but we had a hosting strategy. We moved over to WordPress Engine, which is great because we have all of our accounts in WordPress Engine, all of our customers. When we moved to WordPress Engine, a very unique thing happened. They have temporary files when you move from one platform to another. I don't know why, but they have this temporary folder. And that temporary folder was compromised. Now, WordPress Engine's had a lot of problems with, like last year, they got hammered a lot with issues. And if anybody who has WordPress Engine understands that they got compromised a couple of times last year. So this was one of the things that was left over. So there was
WordPress.
Yeah, so there's been this unending loop of Chinese spam hitting our site, and there's just like no way to stop it. Even if we 402 everything or whatever, or you name it, we've tried it. It keeps coming, right? So there's some sort of automated bot out there just keeps pushing links and links.
And you mean spam links specifically?
Yeah.
You mean pointing to your site?
Yeah, and what it does is it's really unique. It goes out and connects to any site that we've connected to. So all of the customers and sort of anybody who's linked to us now gets another link. So they start sending links and then it sends back to us. It's like this endless loop that keeps creating more loops. So the only thing we could do was basically say, okay, well, let's disavow. But we never thought that disavow worked anyways. I don't think the jury's out, as you know.
Josh is freaking out now. No, don't use the disavow. But
no,
keep going.
That's the thing. That's the only thing we considered, but we never ended up doing it. So we basically said, okay, let's let it roll through and maybe it will just dissipate. And it has dissipated to some extent, but you could see the slow degradation over a period of time. And then it kind of, so at the end of the year, and I think after October, we got released a little bit. You could tell, like, all of a sudden we were starting to grow back up, and then literally, boom, done. Like, literally.
Wait, can I get a link to the website while you guys are talking about this? I just want to check out some metrics.
Sure, yeah, here.
Yep. So, I mean, even we have this is not our only brand. We have another brand that we work on, and mainly our Customer Bloom brand is for all of our wholesalers. So we have a lot of people come to us and buy wholesale, SEO or websites or whatever they need. And that's sort of what that site's designed for, is for wholesale traffic now. And it comes like, all right, look, I get it, the spam links, maybe there's a link velocity, maybe there's something that happened where they flagged us. And we know that there was, some massive amount of inbound link velocity literally for like months. It was just thousands and thousands getting pounded. And then they all fell, right? So
you got 13K right now,
right.
0 to 10 URL. Yeah, well.
You get it, right?
Yeah.
So we went from like a handful of links to 14,000 links in just a couple of months, right? So there's all these redirects and da 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 da. I mean, you have to kind of go deeper beyond the first ones. But we definitely got stuffed recently. So something happened where we got, hammered past the October timeframe. So anyways, I just wanted to, bring that story.
Were you doing PBNs at all on this site?
Not really. I mean, there's a handful, but nothing of any, specific nature.
Because it looks like it looks right like when the Penguin 4.0 algo hit, and that could be a direct correlation to maybe a combination of a small amount of PBNs with those other spam links just basically getting picked up.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe there's a threshold that got hit. But I mean, it's not a lot. I mean, it's like.
But Penguin 4 is not supposed to have a demotion anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If we believe Google.
What do you mean it's not supposed to have a demotion? You mean it's just not supposed to? Well, yeah, but there was still an algorithm update. I think it was Penguin that's picking up for PBNs more easily and basically, hitting sites that are connected to these PBNs. So if one of those PBNs goes down, it's going to affect any other site connected to it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is SEO. It's really tough, right, to diagnose what's going on. So John Mueller and Gary Ilyish, both from Google, admitted that the new Penguin 4 doesn't demote anymore. It doesn't give you a penalty. All it does is it puts a flag on each link that in my interpretation, can bubble up to the manual team. And then the manual team can decide to give you a manual penalty. But I checked your site because you gave me Search Console access, Matt. And I'm going to get to what I think is going on in a second. And sorry, Matt, I'm just going to mute you temporarily while I talk here.
Sorry, yeah, I need to.
Not a problem. It's not a problem. So you gave me access to your site, Matt, and I took a look, and you don't have a manual penalty. So Penguin 4 is not supposed to demote anymore, but you don't have a manual penalty. They don't announce all of them, but any kind of menial penalty like that, they're going to announce for links or whatnot. They're going to announce it so you can clean it up. So yeah. So in my opinion, I noticed, Chase, when you're scrolling down there on the Ahrefs algorithm thing, there was a core algorithm update at the same time. You'll notice that they often do a core algorithm update and Penguin at the same time, or they'll do Panda and Penguin at the same time. I took a look at quite a lot of stuff, and I'm going to actually share my screen and show you all the stuff that I found. And my argument, this is after all a debate show, a friendly debate show, and so I'm going to friendly debate with Matt that I don't think it was the links that sunk your site at all, or at the very least, that's not the first place I would look.
Wait, I have a question, Matt. What was the keywords that really got hit for? What were the main keywords?
Well, and I'll tell you what, Josh, I agree with you 100%. I don't think it was the links because all of our local traffic stayed. Like, we're still #1 for any SEO term in New Jersey in the local listings, like in the map pack. Like, we're right there. And we have the most amount of reviews, positive reviews, so we're always probably going to be okay there. But as far as terms, it was all the tertiary terms around it that got hammered, right? Which it was all the secondary terms that people would look like consultant firm, that, you know, all the things that you'd think that people would type in. The other thing which was interesting was,
I think I can tell you why based on what I found.
okay, because the other thing I would say that's interesting is that it almost corresponded when there was some shifts in we're doing activity, and maybe from a blogging perspective, but there was some shifts that went on as we started to shift our business models.
More scare quotes.
Well, no, not activity. I mean, look, the PBNs that I know that we have they're all up. We have never lost any off of our network. It's all been solid, and it's not that many. We don't even use a lot for us because we really never had to. We were fine. We had plenty of activity. It just, I knew once that we got hammered in April, something changed. You could just feel it, like the whole thing started to shift. But anyways, I'll let you keep going.
Sure. Okay. So if you don't mind muting yourself there. Yeah. So I don't think it, you know, I don't think the links were the issue. In fact, let me share my screen and I'll show you guys what I found. Now, I do SEO audits for a living. That's the biggest thing that I do. And I do SEO consultation for larger companies. And I always start with an SEO audit. And so what I'm going to show you guys is a lot of the stuff that like a tenth of what I would find in an SEO audit. This is like 10% of what I would normally find, and I would do a lot more than what I'm about to show you guys. So, and then Chase also, if he wants, he's going to find some stuff, and he can.
Well, I already found some stuff. If you just want me to comment on some of the on-page, I can just ramble off some things really quick. Basically, this is probably not the reason why this happened, but just some quick fixes for you, Matt. I mean, we got you know, close to almost around 150 meta descriptions missing. We got title links about I'd say about 20 over the 75 character limit, and then a lot really under the actual limit that you should be optimizing for these for. The load times are great. We don't have to worry about those, but you know, H1's missing on pages. There's only, you know, 5 pages with H1s. Yeah, a lot of the titles you really want to make sure and make sure that the titles aren't cannibalizing each other. I don't know if there's any broken links. It looks like there's some Series 301s and 404s you can pretty much remove pretty quickly in there. But just basic stuff. I mean, like stuff that you can pretty much fix pretty fast. Not too many errors other than that I can see.
Yeah, no, that's all really good points. I definitely saw a lot of that, but let me tell you guys what I think was and if you see anything else, Chase, by all means, when I'm done with stuff that I want to show, by all means, jump in with that stuff too.
Yeah.
That was Screaming Frog, right?
Yeah, I went ahead and dropped on the pro version, which actually has some pretty cool points we can talk about later after you're done talking about what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, let's do that. So Screaming Frog is kind of like ye olde SEO tool, like the main tool. So if you guys don't know what Screaming Frog is, I mean, it's up there in the top left of the screen right now. Screaming Frog is indispensable for SEO for sure. But let me show you the stuff that I found. And actually, you don't really even need a tool to find it. It's just all stuff you could just find with your own eyeballs if you know what to look for. So here's what I'm going to argue I think the problem is. I think the problem is quality. So for example, like I said, I do hundreds of SEO audits a year, and I always search for the entity in question. I always search for the brand in question. And you'll notice that your site should come up for a search for yourself. You should always come up first. But the Customer Bloom website is coming up third underneath the LinkedIn page, and then underneath your special scholarships deal that you're doing, which I'm going to talk about in a second as well. So that tells me right away, this is a dead giveaway. 100% of the time when I see this, there is always quality issues going on with the particular website. So let me drill down a little bit more into what kind of problems those could be. So here I noticed some of the 301 issues that Chase also noticed as well. Again, you really want, this is not a big deal. This is like number 18 to fix on a list of 1 to 20 to fix. But you would definitely want to clean up these 301 errors. And instead of having 2 301s, you want a 301 directly to your canonical URL. Also, another little nitpicky little thing, I noticed that your Google Analytics is not installed correctly. Your Google Analytics is not installed on the current site, the HTTPS site. So I couldn't see click data. But if you have installed correctly, then I could also see click data as well. Another thing I've noticed, I checked into your canonical to make sure that it's set up right when you move to HTTPS, and you do have a canonical on your site. That's great. And here's another thing you're doing right. I did a quick search in the HTML to make sure you're not linking anywhere to the HTTP version of the site. So you see what I'm doing there? I'm doing a search and replace in the HTML, and I did a search and replace for the old URL. And it's just when you're setting up, I don't know if people realize this, but when you're converting to HTTPS, you want to link to the in the new HTTPS site. You can't have any links back to the old HTTP because again, that's going to screw up the canonical. Switch to the canonical. Okay, so let's look at the other stuff that I found. So the next one here is here's an issue that I have, and this is what your title tag currently reads as for your index page: SEO NJ company pipe New Jersey search engine experts. I really take issue with a title tag like that. It really is kind of redundant. You really should only have one kind of topic you're going for on every single page. And in my opinion, this is, maybe you could haggle this, but in my opinion, this is two separate topics. One, people are looking for a company. The other one, they're looking for search engine experts, which could also include consultants. So quite frankly, I would go for one or the other, and I wouldn't. NJ and New Jersey are again redundant. There's no need to have them twice in the title tag, and there's no value for clicking this, right? There's no 5 top psychology power words that are going to make people want to click it. There's no kind of clickbaity kind of get the best in SEO, #1 rated 2017. Nothing like that in the title that's going to make them go ooh and click. Now again, it's kind of a moot point because you're ranking for local, and so that title is never going to be seen except for in the information rankings. In the map pack, it's going to be customer bloom. It's going to be your name of your company in the map pack, right? So my problem with that, not to completely shit on everything you've done, Matt, I love you. Trust me, I love you. But my problem with customer bloom, and you said you're changing your brand anyway. I mean, you know this. You know all this stuff I'm telling you.
Yeah, we haven't worked, just to make it clear, we haven't worked on this domain in a year. Literally have not worked on it since April. So, I mean, I'm kind of going back to this saying, hey guys, we should go back and fix it because, even though we're doing all the healthcare medical stuff and we're into another whole domain, we still have a lot of people come to us from a reseller standpoint of just like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, well, sorry, we have so many customers, we never get to our own stuff, which is, we've got a whole team next to me, as you guys can see. There's people talking and everything on here that are doing stuff. They're not doing stuff for me or our domains. They're doing it for other customers.
Can I add something, Josh?
That's the classic problem in web design or any kind of IT consultancy. You never have time to work on your own stuff. You always have time to either do marketing like this and work on
I don't pay very well. That's the problem. I'm not a big client.
Yeah, right.
Hey, can I add something in there? Or
Please.
Another thing I noticed, Mr. Matt, hold on, I'm gonna mute Matt again. Is that we're missing, I think, close to 134 alt tags for all the images. So those are something that you can really use to kind of explain to Google, what these are about. The file URLs themselves, though, they look fine. As long as they're explaining what the images are about. Although the sizes of them, they can be compressed. I'm seeing some images that are, seriously large, and just simply by uploading something like Smusher as a plugin will let you basically reduce these sizes in bulk. And then one other thing that I saw was that, like, in the actual results, we're indexing very, very low quality content. So you'll see like this, do Richard Wolf _HP4. And I do believe this is the website, if I'm correct. Maybe I'm wrong here. Is this the website?
No, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so there's a lot of these, and you're probably getting hit by Google Panda because of all of these low quality pages, as well as these pages. They look like they might be similar in terms of content. So you'll see the rapid spread. This is basically the exact same page except with just the locations changed. So you're probably getting hit with a very for having very large amounts of duplicate content and low quality thin content pages. I actually did a case study on removing stuff like this for a website, and literally overnight, it was about 5 days afterwards, their analytics. I'll show you guys this right here. This is one of the people I did this for. It is insane to actually see what happens when you get out of that penalty. Well, I don't know if it's a penalty, but as much as Google's just kind of recognizing that this is actually, a website that's really picking up higher quality content, no thin content pages, thing.
No, we call it a penalty. Google officially calls it an algorithmic demotion.
So check it out, guys. So right here, you'll see this was when they had all that duplicate content. They were indexing all their dates with their categories, which were the exact same posts, and there was just all this content that was just not doing anything. I removed it about here, February 7th. I re-indexed everything. Google picked it up around here, and then boom, now they're getting about 100 plus organic a day, which is just awesome. And they're ranking for things now that they weren't even close to ranking for before. So that's just one of the big things you really want to look at when you're doing your sites is how can I make these pages as unique as possible?
Yeah, just to chime in there, of course, the location pages that you were showing, like SEO New Jersey here, SEO New Jersey there, those are officially called doorway pages from Google. Of course, Google has mentioned specifically not to do that. It's kind of difficult once you're already ranking for that stuff to remove it, but it has to do with when you're planning your site out. Also, what I was talking about before with the customer bloom name, again, because you already have that brand chosen, it's very tough to change now. But I'm going to show you in a second why you're going to want to change that, and it's because it's a great. I love the name. It's a great brand, but it doesn't scream "We do SEO." And a lot of times, people you're watching, they're on their phone. They're going to try and get some SEO for their site. They're watching Dancing with the Stars and Trump on another screen, and you've got like 2 neurons to trap to make them click on your site. And so again, it's hard to change after the business is already going. But you want to think if Google search is going to be one of your main channels, you want to think of having a name that screams "We do XYZ," if whatever XYZ happens to be. Let me guys quickly show you the rest of the stuff that I wanted to show, and then we can talk about it. So again, the title tag, I would alter this. 1, it doesn't have any click through and any impetus to click it. 2, it's redundant, and 3, it's hitting 2 different topics. Okay, so here's some of the stuff I looked at in terms of the quality that Chase is also talking about. And what I look at more is user clicks as well that talks about the quality. So here, the mobile quality you could see is not good. This could be important for moving forward to the mobile first index. There's only 10% traffic from mobile, so there could be a ranking problem there. But you'll notice the bounce rate is higher. They go to less pages, and they spend less time. So that is a problem showing me that your mobile design needs to be adjusted. It's not converting right. Here's another issue that I was hoping Steve Fantasia was going to be here to talk about for Facebook stuff, but I'm going to have him on in 2 weeks to tell you all his awesome Facebook secrets of how to get crazy traffic out of Facebook for really cheap. Here, we don't have enough clicks from social going on. Clicks from social are a definite signal from Google, and so we don't have enough clicks from social going on. It's better than a lot of websites for sure, but we don't have enough clicks from social going on here. We'd want to see more, definitely. You could add in Reddit. You could be doing Reddit post, Imager, stuff like that. Okay, here's more. Here's another major problem that a lot of people don't realize is actually an issue in Google, both for sales and also for rankings. It's called internal bounce, and Rand Fishkin has talked about it. So we have, here's your conversion path, right? First off, we have out of your new users for last month, we had 706 sessions, and we had 500 of them drop off. First off, that's more than a 50% bounce rate. That's no good. If they're bouncing back to Google and selecting another result, I guarantee that's going to be a ranking problem for you. That's going to be a problem for your quality score. Another problem here is that out of the 309 people who came to the index page, only 28 came to your contact us page, right? Only 30, so that's 10% are moving in the direction they are supposedly supposed to go to make a purchase on your site, to order some of your services, your awesome services. Here's the other problem I'm finding on this site, and it's a big one. I notice you have a scholarship program. Now that's fantastic, and you've got a lot of traffic going to your site because of your scholarship program. Now it's fantastic that you have a scholarship program. I mean, that's great. And in the past, that would have been a great way to get links coming to your site. But now I'm going to argue this is a huge problem because you're confusing the hell out of RankBrain, right? RankBrain is going, okay, well, are you an education site or do you offer SEO? You know, I have all this traffic coming here for scholarship-related things, but I don't have a lot of people coming here to buy SEO services. So you're not making it easy for RankBrain to decide what kind of entity you are and what kind of searches they should serve you for. And I think this is part, I've seen this on other websites, and that's happened for the core algorithm update that Chase showed earlier, that happened in October of last year or around that time recently, that Google really is being very selective in the type of websites it's serving to customers. If you have a sales-based query, they want to give you a sales-based website, not just a sales-based page, but a sales-based website. And so I think that is also another major issue. I don't think it's actually helping you anymore. If I were you, I would move all your scholarship stuff into like scholarships.customerbloom.com and leave customerbloom.com just for your SEO services. That's what my recommendation there would be. Now, I also noticed, if I drill down deeper, again, talking about the bounce rate, your index page here, again, had a 60% drop-off rate. So 60% of the users who went to that page, when they first hit it, they dropped off. So that's different than the entire bounce rate or the entire exit rate. And so the drop-off, so a couple things. One, the drop-off rate is actually what you want to be using in Google Analytics to determine if you have any kind of conversion problem or quote-unquote a bounce rate problem. Not the bounce rate you see in Google Analytics, because that's recording a totally different thing. Two, being at 60%, that's going to be a major issue. I asked you earlier, before the Hangout, how many leads you got last month from your website, and out of 700 sessions, you got 5 to 10 leads. Now, 5 to 10 leads is great. That's more than a lot of people get, right? But out of 700 sessions, you should be getting more than 5 to 10 leads. Again, I think that's skewed because you had so much traffic coming to you because of the scholarships. But again, that's confusing Google as to, are you a scholarship site? Whatever the hell that is. Google doesn't know. Google's an artificial intelligence. It matches alpha, beta, gamma with alpha, beta, gamma. It matches XYZ, searches for XYZ with XYZ on a website. And so people search for this thing called scholarships. It just knows that that's a different thing than SEO services. Google is well aware, their entity, Hummingbird algorithm, is well aware that scholarships is a different thing entirely than SEO services, and so that's going to be an issue. Let me show you a couple other things here, and then I see Chase has more to show. So looking here at the website, so this is actually your index page. And so you guys tell me when, or Chase, you tell me,
Boom,
or anyone in the chat, you tell me.
I'll raise my hand.
When you see this web page and you're looking for SEO services, what's the first thing that stands out, or does anything stand out for you at all?
I can tell you the first thing that doesn't stand out, and it is a big call to action right there, right where that line is, right above the trophy. Needs to have a big call to action right there.
Yes. Yes. So very much so, right? Again, Matt, I don't mean to lambaste you here live on the Hangout, and I know we've talked about all this stuff before.
Yeah. Well, again, as I said, guys, I really wanted to do this because I haven't done this in a year. I mean, literally, we stopped selling retail a year ago and went and moved into wholesale. So, I mean, this is like leftover from 2014. When we stopped building on the site. So we haven't touched it since 2014. So again, I know everybody's probably watching this saying, what the hell's wrong with you? Like,
no way, dude. Dude, you don't understand. Like we do audits all the time, and like, honestly, like this isn't that bad in comparison to most sites. Like
true. True.
It's just that we're just really good at hyper-focusing things that we can see because we have so much experience looking at this stuff.
Right. So it might sound worse than it is. Yeah. A 60% bounce rate actually is not that bad compared to most of my customers. It's usually 80 or 90%. so
yeah, and surprised or not, which is funny. I know you guys have have lashed into this, we do get a lot of quality leads. I mean, it's like so funny. It's like I literally got like a $2,500 a month client just a couple of weeks ago, and they're like, "Oh, I saw you online." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay.
Well, so was that site, Matt. The people who hit me up who had the panda, they were getting a lot of customers, but now they're just getting a lot more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I agree. I mean, quite frankly, this website's not, this design is not helping you convert. It is not helping you. All the color, all the eyes, all you see are those circles right there. And then your eyes go down to Northern New Jersey's #1 SEO company. And then they see the AdWords, Facebook marketing, all the icons beneath that. So again, I would strongly recommend a sales-based design with a strong call to action and a picture. Picture sells it more than anything. A picture and a strong call to action right where these circles are, these ones right here, these circles are. That's definitely what you want to be changing there. Just a couple more things, guys. So we were talking about links before. I happen to know a nice little leak from Google. John Mueller told me both personally in a private hangout after one of his main hangouts, and he's also said this more or less publicly as well, that Google wants to help you out with any links they find that are bad. And so they purposely put your best links and your worst links. They put your best links here, and they put what looks like your worst links here on purpose. And you can get more if you click more here, right? So I always look in Search Console. I don't bother using Ahrefs. I don't bother using, I mean, I can, and I have when I don't have this information or I want more information. Don't get me wrong, Ahrefs is a great tool. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying all I need to know, I want to know what Google thinks are the bad links to your site. And I know for a fact, because John Mueller told me, that they purposely, to throw you a bone, they purposely put in here the good links and the bad links, and you can get even more here. And an example of the good links and the bad links so you can clean it up. They also put in here an example of the good anchor text and the bad anchor text so you can clean it up. So I find this to be an invaluable tool to figure out what's going on. And I would trust this 1,000,000% more than anyone else like Majestic or Ahrefs or Moz who claims that this is a quote unquote spammy link. They don't have an effing clue, right? They don't have a fucking clue what is a spammy link or not. They're making a guess. I would rather listen to what Google has said. Here's where we're going to show you what links we think are spammy. At the very least, I wouldn't count out Search Console anyway. So you're thinking that it's links that's mostly doing it. I see some links here that are not great. And again, you have these links here to the scholarship program, which again is confusing the hell out of Google going, oh, I guess you're like an educational site or something. This is really confusing the hell out of them. This used to be a great, this is like 2005. This was like SEO champion move #1. So I give you 2005 SEO champion status, but Google's just caught on to it. And you probably did it back in 2005. It's probably when you did it. But Google has just caught on to it, and now it's probably biting you in the butt. Finally, I noticed you do have a really, this is obvious. This is an obvious search phrase anchor text. This is an obvious exact match commercial search phrase anchor text. And again, that is why Google is floating it in here, because it's saying, hey, the link should, for a natural organic link like this, it should read, these guys do great web design for medical sites, or medical site web design. It shouldn't be medical web design. Medical web design is clearly a search phrase that people are typing in, and I think Google would trigger on that as well, and that could have the Penguin 4 flag on it and could bubble up to the manual team, and then the manual team would take a look at your links, and you tell me if you think they're going to find those few really good private blog networks you mentioned that you might have had on there. Which I wouldn't feel bad. Everyone has always done it, but now now it might get bubbled up to the manual team. I noticed someone asked a link, but how can you tell? Someone asked a question, but how can you tell which of the 5 link sources are bad? From doing this for 20 years, that's how I can tell which.
I was just looking through the site and I found a post with you in it, Josh.
Yes, yes. Matt and I know each other. That's no secret. Like I said, like Matt knows all this stuff I'm talking to him about. We've talked about this ad nauseum before.
Well, and I think, Josh, that one link that we have that has your picture on, I think that's where all the black hats links are coming from.
Right. Yeah. That's when Google saw we did an interview, and they're like, "That's it. We're giving you a
Exactly. As
penalty."
soon as I put that thing up, man, the whole site, like my computer exploded.
See, that's the real reason.
Now we know. Now we know. See, this is my secret plan. What I do is I do an interview with a company, and then then Google penalizes them. And then I say, hey, well, I can fix that for you. it's only $5,000 a month, right? That was a joke. Just FYI, so everyone knows that was a joke. Just
It's a new business call.
This is not how you spell SEO. This spells SO. So there. Okay. And so the last couple of things here. That's how I know. So this guy asked, how can Raw, I think your name is, asked, how can you tell which of the links, 5 source sources is bad? Because I've been doing this for so long. I mean, WordPress.com and Blogspot.com, these are the bargain basement blogs. You should never have a link from, almost never should you have a link from WordPress.com or Blogspot.com, right? The blogosphere is dead. Any activity going on there is just from people doing SEO. So placing links there, I guarantee in every single disavow file, here's what I guarantee. In every single disavow file that any SEO has ever submitted to Google, I guarantee you WordPress.com and Blogspot.com were #1 on the list. So I guarantee to you those links are automatically ignored, and probably if you have too much of those kinds of spammy links can bubble you up to the manual team. I effing guarantee you. I would put $1 million on that. Okay, not that I have $1 million, but if I had $1 million, I would put $1 million on it.
That's what you would do with your $1 million, Josh?
Okay, I'm quickly escaping this conversation. Okay, so here's the last 2 things I wanted to mention. So again, as you mentioned, you're ranking well in local.
Hey, have you responded to those reviews, Matt?
Most of them, not all of them, probably about 70%.
Nice.
I see you've got photos uploaded. Great. You could very well have an enhanced listing with 360-degree tour. Perfect, even better. I just ranked a local site doing that alone.
Wait, Matt, did you get citations built for that? And then also do the Google My Business optimizations with geotagging through the pictures and whatnot?
You did that really quickly. Did I get citations through this?
No. Okay, I can check. Hold on. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. Get it on your screen there, Chase. You're talking SEO black magic. No one knows what you're talking about.
Well, he said it so fast. I thought he was talking something in Swahili.
He goes, well, he is Swahili. No one knows this, but actually Chase is from Africa. He is Swahili. No, he is most certainly not Swahili. Okay, so it looks like you said you're ranking well locally. That's good. Google definitely does some personalization. I didn't see any evidence of that, but again, I'm not in New Jersey, so I'm going to see different things than you're going to see. And so you've got your map listing, great. You've got 46 positive reviews. They're 4.8 stars. That is a little high. That looks a little fake, but still, it's better than no reviews. And you could very well have a 360-degree tour set up, which again, as I just said, I just ranked a site on a 360-degree tour in local for some mild competition. I ranked their site on that alone. I didn't have to do anything else. I said, build the site on this topic, get a 360-degree tour, you will rank page 1 in the map pack, and now they are. Now all I have to do is do a little bit more and completely cement them and blow everyone else away. But here's the thing, though, is that here's who you're competing with, and here's another issue that you got to keep in mind. Here, I'll ask everyone who's listening. There's quite a lot of people listening right now. There's 60 people listening right now, and Chase as well. And Matt, I'll ask you guys too. When you look at this, what does it tell you? So this is for the search New Jersey SEO, or SEO New Jersey is what I searched. When you look at this map pack, what comes to mind?
Tumbleweeds. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, tumbleweeds, exactly. So, I mean, why in the world, when you have 48 positive reviews and New Jersey SEO has 49 positive reviews, why in the world is SEO New Jersey ranking #1 for only 4 reviews, and Pan Am Marketing is ranking #1 for 0 reviews? Now,
I can tell you.
Please, by all means. I mean, of course, reviews are not the only ranking factor for local, of course.
So SEO New Jersey basically has the exact match in their title, which is a huge ranking factor right now. Same with the location by adding that in there.
Yes,
but that's
and
not the
they're
only
gonna get more
thing.
clicks because they're exactly what the people want.
Right. And that's not the only thing. Like, okay, so we got user behavior, which is about what, 10%. So wait, hold on. God damn. We got user behavior or user intent, which is like 10% of the algorithm. We got the exact match or exact match keywords with the locations, which is probably about like 20%. It's actually very high. We got the site
20%. I disagree on user intent. I'd put that anywhere from 30 to 50%.
All right, well, that's fine. And then we got...
yes, it's fine if we disagree. Yes, that's fine.
we got citations, which are about 10%. You're about 70. I don't know how many hyperlocal you have. We could look at that in a second. But, if we were to compare these citations, we could see that, like, look, okay, these are the most important, probably, well, of course, Google. Google Plus, you need to have that business location. But then there's the other citations. So this is basically your name, address, phone number, and website. And the more hyperlocal you can get, the better. So I'd say, probably try to get that like 20 more hyper local. But then also we got the Google My Business optimizations, which is about 10%. We don't know what you're doing with the actual pictures or the geotagging or the file URLs or how complete your profile is actually done. So that's another 10%. And then the reviews, which you have the most. So that's about, I would say about, 20%. And then there's a couple other things like on page, which I would say is probably about 15%, and then there's links, which is probably about 20% as well. I don't know if that equals 100%, but it's something around that ballpark. So, one of the things is really big is that on page, I was looking at this, and, if you look at the site architecture in here, like I was saying before, the actual unique quality on these different pages not very diverse, very similar, not very many link silos going on within the actual website. So like if I go into Screaming Frog and I look at like, the in links to this stuff and we see like the actual anchor text that's being interlinked throughout the website, it's all just saying home. So you kind of want to change that to what the homepage is actually trying to rank for, which is, the keywords you're going for. That's going to help you out a lot too. And then as well as, just all the other pages, the contact anchor text can be different than contact. You can see you're actually using contact us and then also contact. But really just making sure that your link silos are, going a lot more in depth in terms of your actual strategies than just, doing basic linking with generic anchor text. And like that's just from an overview level.
Sure.
Also, the site speed is going to be a huge problem for ranking, which is probably the one thing I forgot. So about, user experience in terms of the actual landing page experience and not pogo sticking. So I would say that's about 10% and probably higher actually. And you'll see that this is
I thought you included that in user intent. So I would combine them.
Yeah, so that would actually probably be about 20%, like Josh was saying. And then in here you'll see like, look, like the images, like we were talking about before, they need to be, optimized. They're not smushed. Some of the things going on with the JavaScript and, the images not being scaled in their native sizes. I don't know what's really going on in terms of like the actual hosting. It seems like WP Engine is going to be really helping you out, but I don't know if like maybe you're using certain plugins, like, if you're using a caching plugin with WP Engine, it's totally unnecessary. You could also probably do, it looks like you got GZIP compression. So, just stuff that would basically take this load time from 12 seconds down to like a 2-second load time is also going to really help you out.
And that's going to be even more important when the mobile first index comes out and they start basing your ranking on the mobile speed.
Yeah, and that's going to get hit even harder probably.
Well, anyways, I hate to kill you guys' thunder, but we have a whole complete new website behind this coming up. So that's why I was okay and you guys ripping it apart because we haven't touched it because we have a new one coming. So I didn't want to throw you guys that bone this early in the conversation. I wanted to,
oh, come on.
but it was good to hear all this stuff. I mean, I already did it all, but it's okay. I'm just kidding. A lot of this stuff.
Fantastic. I mean, we've been friends for a long time. You've listened to me rant for a long time. So you know all this stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think it's good because
the cube tool that Chase was using there is Power Mapper, I believe. That's correct, right, Chase?
Yeah. So this is a pretty cool tool, and like one of the other things is like you can go in here, you can change the actual ways you see these, and like for instance, if you did do that new website, Matt, and like you wanted to look in here and see like, okay, for the actual site architecture of like what's going on. This is like your different content silos. And then in here, you can see like, okay, this is what's being linked to from the main portfolio. That's what's in here. You want to make sure like, okay, there's no, broken links or broken paths like this 404. Just pretty like easy stuff to look at. But, if you were to fix a lot of these main issues we discussed today, like even just making sure that they're not going to be happening in your new site move, you're probably going to have, a huge boost in what's currently happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And part of our move was going to be, we're taking everything to PHP 7 and we're moving it, to a brand new theme and all the stuff. We're changing. We're putting an e-commerce store in so that people can just process orders instead of calling us up and doing invoicing. Again, since we supply the wholesale market, we're not even in the retail market that much anymore. In fact, it's sort of like something we're trying to get away from. So our whole model will change as part of this, but it's really cool to go through this. And you guys are awesome. I'd be happy to share some of the stuff that we're doing from a executional level with, you didn't have the Facebook expert on, but I can tell you what we're doing if you guys are interested in what models we're doing to support our customers now that they're just killing it and making like tons of money. And show you some models if you were interested, just to give back some value to the call. Because you guys have crushed me enough, and I need to get my ego back.
No. It's all for learning's sake. So it's good. We appreciate that you gave up your site and allowed us to look at it.
Matt,
so
if you were to do one,
we've got like 5 minutes left here. If anyone has any questions that they want to ask, I didn't see any questions in the chat. I don't see any question marks as I scroll up and down or anything that you guys want to know from us. If you do, put them in there. And we just got a few. That was not. Someone asked if I listed all the tools in the chat, and someone asked if that was for their benefit, or I'm not sure what they're referring to. They're referring to something. Yes, everything here is for your benefit. We're not getting paid to do it. This is free, so I guess it's your benefit. Everything I said in the chat and otherwise. Our final segment today is going to be random facts. We're going to do random facts. The random facts segment is random facts about our lives that have nothing to do with SEO or nothing to do with internet marketing in any way, shape, or form. And again, if you guys have any final questions you want to ask, please do so. Also, as Chase Chase is now traveling through universes and galaxies at warp speed. That's very interesting. That's he stopped doing it now. Oh, he's back. he's a Time Lord. That's why he's partially invisible there. He's phasing in and out of time. And now he's also the scuba diving pirate again. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, please ask them in the chat there just for the last couple of minutes. And also, as Chase usually will remind us, we'd really like it if you liked the video, if you liked the free information you got, if you liked what you saw. If you got 3
likes right now. Oh, wow, we went up to
3 likes makes us sad. If we
went up
get
to
60 likes, then we'll be happy. That would be fantastic. We would appreciate it if you would be so kind to do so. And Chase just yelled in the chat, ask your questions. I don't see any questions, so I guess they don't. I guess we've nailed it. We've nailed SEO. They know everything they want to know. Boom. They're to the saturation point. It's done. So while you guys ask your questions, like I said, the final segment we'll do is a random fact. I do a lot of random facts. I've already told you some random facts. Chase, what are some random facts from your life that have nothing to do with internet marketing?
Oh, man.
You're a Time Lord.
So I just got really into
Swahili.
I got into photography now. So check this out. So I got this camera right here. Here, let me take off my pirate 1 second. and you'll see this camera right here.
Nice.
Is a very nice camera. So pretty stoked about this. I've been walking around on the beach taking pictures of seagulls and stuff, and the quality is amazing. So
cool.
If any of you guys are connected with me on Facebook, you can see those pictures.
Sweet. Yeah, connect with Chase on Facebook, connect with me on YouTube or Twitter. Matt, what's something you want to say there? Do you want to tell us how to connect with you, or do you want to tell us a random thing about yourself?
Yeah, I'll do both. Anyone, of course, this is not a good example of the SEO work that we do, but we do a lot of I can't tell you how much we do every week. We get lots of inbound orders from other people, websites and stuff. So go to Customer Bloom or hit me up at matt.coffee at Customer Bloom, and I'll help you out with a project. We do a lot of projects for other agencies, websites and Facebook marketing and whatever. Random fact. So one time, I've been in bands for 100 years, since I was 2 years old.
Nice.
And in fact, look.
Oh no, he's about to bring out the guitar.
I could even wail if I had to. Oh, we can have an online jam session.
Now we're all holding up guitars. It's really nerdy.
So one time we were playing this gig in Boston, and we were warming up for an act, and it was something Fish, or I couldn't remember what the name it was, but not fish with a P, but anyway, so there's a lot of people there, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? This guy comes out, he's kind of scraggly looking, and they start playing, and the whole place goes nuts, and there's radio announcers there. We warmed up for these guys, and I guess it was Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead, and I didn't know who he was, because I was not a Dead, and so that was the one time where I was like totally like, that guy's famous? Like, for what? And I had no idea that he was part of the Grateful Dead at that time. That's when he was with Rat Dog or Fishbone, or I don't know what the hell the band was, but that's a random story.
Rat Dog?
That's the name of it. If anybody is in the chat, they'll know that he's been in a bunch of single bands. And but anyways, there was about 500 people there, and it was spooky because they were all tripping, and it was really weird.
Rat Dog or Fishbowl. Okay, we did have one question there, and Anarchy777 asked, okay, seriously, what advice would you give to someone who wants to learn about SEO from scratch? I'll go first. My advice is listen to me. Listen to my channel, listen to everything that I say, listen to Chase's channel, listen to everything he says. It wouldn't hurt to have a background knowledge in mute Matt there for a second, because his sales guys are selling like crazy. It wouldn't hurt to have a background knowledge in web design and web development. It wouldn't hurt to have a background knowledge in marketing and in social media as well. For basic SEO, Moz has a good like SEO 101. But every year I put out an SEO course as well. I know Chase puts out SEO courses as well. Chase, what do you think is the best place to learn SEO first?
Well, it depends on what type of SEO you want to learn. If you want to learn local, you want to learn Guitar by Josh. If you want to learn, schema markup, there's tons of different resources. Personally, I like to watch the, I don't know, I just saw something about a Fallout with Barry Short, so I don't know if I should recommend him. But I like watching his updates. And also
Barry. Josh and Barry are going to get married, I think.
And they're going to have a kid named Barry. So also, I also like to read a lot. So I like to read like the Yoast blog, because a lot of the stuff they say is really accurate. And then I like to follow people who are like really authoritative. I have a hard time with Whiteboard Fridays by Moz, because they seem really kind of watered down for people who are more like kind of getting into SEO. But if you're looking to get into SEO and you don't know a lot, Whiteboard Fridays are kind of good.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They used to be more SEO based. Now that they're really marketing and social media, and they're kind of more advanced. Really, at this point.
I would say the best resource is to go find a good Facebook group. Josh and I are in a Facebook group right now, which we were actually thinking about creating another one specifically for this show. But there's one that you can join. I don't know if Josh, you want me to promote that here, but basically, so I have a Facebook group. We'll leave in the description, and you can go over there and check it out. And if you have any questions or any of that stuff, it's just really important to be around a community of people who really know a lot about SEO, so you can ask questions and learn through actually asking, instead of just going online and learning about things that may or may not work.
Yes. Here's the issue: is that there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of axe grinding out there. There's a lot of soapboxing out there. There's a lot of metaphors out there. There's a lot of people who think they know what SEO is about, but as Chase mentioned, it's so varied between local SEO and global SEO, and big brand SEO and small business SEO, and long tail SEO or head term SEO, and you can learn it all, but it's really difficult to do. You really have to be an independent thinker, You really have to be able to tell the bullshit apart from the truth. So if you're not the kind of guy who's really good at telling the bullshit apart from the truth, you're going to have, I'm dead serious. You're going to have trouble because someone's going to tell you, oh, buy I got links right here. Buy my 10 top links.
Or buy my 30 SEO
and you're going to
tools.
go, okay, and you're going to click it. You got to pay really close attention to people who are selling you a product. And then, of course, the product works great because they're selling the product. You'll notice that Chase and I don't sell products. We
even more,
which means if we didn't know what we're talking about, we wouldn't work anymore, right? We wouldn't be able to rank sites, and you'd see all these complaints about us online, which so far, knock on wood, you don't.
Yeah, I was just going to chime in there, Josh. Even more importantly, people who try to sell you an image. So like if people are like, oh, you could be this guy making money, you could be this, like doing, going on vacation. And that's not really selling SEO advice. That's just selling like, hey, look, like you could be like anybody else who's successful in life and then decides to go on a vacation, but then also decides to broadcast it as something that this is like, because you could technically go on vacation and own pretty much any company. It has nothing to do with SEO. So I would really try to stay away because it's everywhere. I mean, if you go on Facebook right now, there's going to be somebody out there trying to pitch this image to you that isn't really anything to do with like what you actually like can do with SEO or online marketing. It's more to do with like, this is me being a big shot, and you could be one too.
I agree. I specifically hate that. Like the guy does the ad and he gets into his Lamborghini and he keeps saying, hey guys, you can get rich too like me. Quite frankly, if he was so effing good at it, and if he knew all the secrets and it made him so much money, he wouldn't be sharing it with you, right? If this was like a secret that was so good that you can make you millions of dollars, why would he tell more people to give competition?
Well, and he probably wouldn't share it in 3 minutes either.
No, it would take more than 3 minutes to yeah. That's the final point before we sign off, I guess, is that it takes a very long time. You want to learn SEO, it's going to take years and years to get really good at it because it's complex, and Google just keeps making it more and more complex. And it's
Josh,
so complex. Sorry?
Just to interject, I think you just answered his question. Don't do it. Learn marketing. Learn how to go to a customer and help them with marketing. This is what that's why I'm saying 2 years ago, we stopped working on the site because we're done. We don't do SEO. We do the whole thing. We go to a customer and we say, what's your problem? And then we fix the problem. And I'll tell you, it has nothing to do with SEO anymore. It's really marketing. It's what is your product? What is your
small
offer?
component out of
It's literally,
bigger
it's gotten to a point that we don't talk about it anymore. What we talk about is driving conversion engine. Like what are we going to try and go after? And I think that solves a lot of the problems. So going to the market and saying, hey, I want to learn SEO, I would say learn how to do good copy, learn to get a good offer strategy, and then move into the next phase, which is then paid traffic and then SEO and so forth. Because if you're in the market, you're going to want to be a value for somebody. And that, to me, is why we've transitioned. And again, we still do SEO. And again, we don't do it really for ourselves. We do it for other customers, but it's not buying links and all this stuff. It's really just like trying to build a good model, and the traffic comes naturally. You don't have to fight for it anymore. It's just building a good model that supports itself, and you'll get someone to really listen to you, and they'll pay you, a lot of money. I mean, we grew this to a 7-figure business really quickly, and now we're going to the next business because we know what to do.
Sage advice from Mr. Coffee. Thank you very much. So that's it, guys. That's our show, White Hat versus Black Hat. Episode number 9, I believe this was. I would like to thank Matt Coffey for joining, and I would like to thank Chase for being here as always. And next week, we're going to be on Thursday at 1 p.m. Everyone's rocking out now. It'll be Thursday at 1 p.m. Next week with hopefully Mike Pierce and his super crazy Black Hat guy. So we're going to have a pretty in-depth Black Hat conversation at that time. So again, guys, if you wouldn't mind liking the broadcast, assuming you liked it. If you didn't like it, well then I guess don't like it. But if you were to do that, we'd appreciate it. And otherwise, as I typically say, good luck and thanks very much for watching. Good luck in the SERPs. And Chase, do you have any final goodbye to say?
Stay classy, San Diego.
Stay classy, San Diego. Wise. I believe it was a Swahili philosopher who first said, "Stay classy, San Diego." Yes, he's getting to his heritage there. Okay, thanks very much, folks. And again, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.